Oh, you want to wish to know how I'm going to use it? Well, you'll see soon enough, Regimen said as he stared the All-Force down, beginning to smile widely, almost creepily, as once again smoke and fire began to billow from his form, gouting out in larger and larger amounts as laughter began to erupt from the smoke and fire. Mad laughter that echoed out into the world around as more and more smoke and fire began to billow out, the amount simply stacking, increasing more and more. But even amidst all the smoke and all the fire, somehow, something of the image of a face could still be seen within the form of all of that smoke and fire, roiling out in all directions as the world quaked, the sky filled with storm clouds, just as black as the smoke that Regimen billowed. Lightning struck the sky, filling it with an ominous red glow of countless hundreds of bolts, a seemingly never-ending, ceaseless procession of them. As the world shook, rocks crumbled on the ground, rolling and being thrown by large gusts of wind, as chunks of earth and stone tore themselves apart, and still the laughter billowed out. A face within the smoke, a face with a mad smile that opened its mouth wide, gouting fire and smoke as it cackled and laughed, before finally the smoke and fire began to subside. However, the storm overhead still consumed the sky, blanketing it in clouds as black as any smoke Delius had ever seen, with that red lightning streaking the sky, the only thing providing light to the world, as a form began to emerge from the smoke and fire, becoming clear as the amount died down. It still held the same shape as Reginald P. Worthington. However, its form was drastically different. Still wearing a suit, yes, but now the suit itself seemed to be nothing but an apparition of smoke, and protruding from that apparition of smoke, flaming appendages, hands, feet, head, all engulfed in a red beaming flame, as the limbs took shape underneath, and still you could hear Reginald laughing. He laughed, kneeling over, with his arm around his sternum and his hand on his face. However, the face that was there was not the one that Delius recalled. No, his skin had changed to a deep red. His hair was now just as black as the smoke that billowed as the form of his suit, and seemed much more like smoke itself. From his forehead, glowing red horns that seemed like superheated metal, beaming red, hot with whiffs of fire that came off of them as they circled back around from the front of his head towards the back, arcing gently. As his eyes looked up at the All-Force, they beamed red, seeming to have fire in them as he did, and still a mad smile on his face. His teeth looked like they had become razor sharp. As he laughed, still from his mouth, billows of black smoke and waves of heat, embers of fire. Ah, yes, one does not brave the depths of hell and return unscathed. It is in the very nature of hell that is one of the only places in all of creation, in all of the countless realms that exist, where a soul can be destroyed, reshaped, remade. Those that are doomed to that dreadful and horrendous place, have only two fates before them. Either they are consumed by hell, their souls unable to bear the strain, they shatter, becoming naught but energy for the hordes of hell to feast upon, or they are contaminated. Because truly the only way to survive in hell is to kill. To kill as many as possible, as often as possible. Because it is only with the taking of life that you sustain your own and have any power to fight the enemies that assail you. The more enemies you kill, the stronger you become. But also, the longer you remain in hell, even if you survive without allowing it to consume you. Your soul cannot re-emerge unscathed. You who have weathered the deepest segments of hell, waged wars against their armies, and come into confrontation with the demons that preside over hell itself. The 6 demon lords who rule each level have consumed an unimaginable amount of demonic energy. Energy which taints your very soul, its essence, every moment of every day, seeking to consume you from within until there is naught but demon left. Such is the manner in which all beings become demons in that realm. Even though you have escaped from it, that power still exists there. And this is it, the manifestation of the man who conquered hell. Dealer's devil, Regimen replied, smiling in the All Forces direction. As Regimen extended his hand, releasing the clock that he still held, as a small red glow surrounded it, holding it in air as he released it. As he reached to both sides, and 2 objects emerged, appearing in swirls of red. The gun that he had wielded, as well as the golden sword from before, swirling beside him as he clasped both of them. And suddenly their forms began to glow red hot. As they melted down, their forms taken away as they began to work their way up Regimen's arms, forming complex patterns as they wove themselves, wrapping around his form, all the way up to the shoulders. Right arm of heaven, left arm of hell, he exclaimed as their molding process finally completed, weaving itself into his form as pulsations began to emit from where he stood, flowing out, rippling the ground in the air. Waves of heat poured out. And now you've broken down your weapons, forged them into your being, the All-Force exclaimed as Regimen's eyes began to shift. One, the iris remaining that golden, that glowing red that seemed to pierce through everything, while the surrounding area became gold, beaming golden light. The other iris also remained red. However, the rest of the eye itself seemed to be consumed by shadow, taken in and becoming naught but darkness, like a void of black with a beaming red spot at the center. Truly, Reginald, what you have done is extraordinary. However, you have given yourself extreme limitations. Those weapons desire to be in their natural state. You may be able to force them to abide your will for now, become part of your being and increase your own power. However, your hold on them will not last forever. It is only possible in the heightened state that you are now in, but even that cannot hold forever. Very soon it will fade away, and your ability to control the weapons will as well. They will return to their normal state, and all of the powers that you have gained will be lost. Both your form, as well as your ability to wield those weapons for some time. Our fight will be over. Reginald laughed madly as he smiled a terrifying smile, extending his right arm out, his hand clasping the pocket watch afloat in air, gazing at the All-Force with that mad look. His body now morphed into this otherworldly being that seemed, in all aspects, utterly terrifying, as his finger gently touched the top of the watch as it shimmered gold, and he smiled brightly as he clicked the button, and a pulse of golden light shattered out into the world. It's done. Step 3 equals victory. Let's see how unlimited you truly are, Regimen said, smiling brightly and terrifyingly as he released the watch to float in the air beside him, and in a bolt of red lashed out at the All-Force.